Hello, my friends. It is day 153, and we're reading Song of Songs, chapter 1, all the way through chapter 8. We're reading the entire book today. But before we get into our recap, I want to thank you for taking a moment to check out this video. Hopefully, you're finding the yearly Bible reading program to be encouraging and insightful as you read the Bible every single day. If you have not yet accepted the invitation, please make sure you check out the description box below, and there you'll find the link that will take you directly to the YouVersion Bible app, where you can join a number of readers who are reading the Bible every day and leaving feedback on the things they're learning. And so we'd love for you to be a part of the group. I believe you'll be blessed by your participation as much as I know we'll be blessed by your involvement. So please take a moment to check that out. There we are, friends. The scenery is a little different. We're traveling this week, and so we just need to do things a little differently. But anyway, we're reading the book of Songs, and it's often referred to as the Song of Solomon, because if you look at the first verse, it says that Solomon wrote this song. And many people believe that because he wrote it, he was referring to himself, or he was writing about a relationship that maybe he was sharing. And we discover that that may not necessarily be the case. We do see where the king, as it is referred to, Solomon is referred to in this book, but it seems as though the relationship that he's describing in this song is between another young man and another young woman. And so you have three characters in this book. You have the young woman, you have the young man, and then you have the young women of Jerusalem, who kind of sits along the sidelines, and they serve as the spectators, right? And they're spectating for several reasons. They're trying to understand the love that these two individuals share. They're trying to figure out, why does the young man love the young woman so much? And why does the young woman love the young man so much? And so when that question is posed, then they give these very clear and very intimate descriptions about, what is driving the passion and the intimacy, the love, the sort of connection that you read in this text. So the question then is, why is this in the Bible? Why is this in the Bible? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I read this today, and I was like, man, this seems very weird. And the first thing that popped into my mind was, the process of canonization, right? Like, when people were determining what books should be in the Bible, I wonder what they were thinking when they got to the book of Songs, because there's nothing explicitly there about God. There's nothing there that even speaks to any sort of apparent or direct salvific element that will make it, a part of the, obviously a part of the bigger narrative that the Bible is concerned with, which many people would say, and it's about salvation and the relationship that one shares with God through redemption and forgiveness of sin. None of that seemingly seems to be here. And so we have to really, really figure out, why would a book like this be involved or even included in the canon in the first place? So there are a few reasons and a few ideas that have been established over the years. The first is that the Song of Solomon is actually a portrayal of not just God's appreciation of intimacy between a lawful marriage or, a man and a woman, but it's also a depiction of God's love for Israel, right? And the reason we say Israel is because of who this is written by and who this is written to. And easily would this book have been relatable to Israel, as they often saw themselves as being in a covenant, which is a way of saying in a marriage. And understanding their view of God, you can then understand why this book would be included. Their view of God, it was not that he was, abstract or just stuck in heaven somewhere, just kind of, dabbling along, leaving things up to humans on earth. But their understanding of God was that God shares an intimate relationship with them. He dwells among them. He can be felt and he can feel, and that is a big idea in the Hebrew understanding of God that would not be common among other pagan nations. So this idea of intimacy, personal connection, is unique to the experiences that the nation of Israel share with their God, and it's something that can be expressed through this song of songs. But then the other thing is that in the ancient world, the love poetry was very common as well. So recent scholarship has demonstrated that there are other poems similar to the one we read, or songs similar to the one that we read in the book of Song of Songs, in other religions. So in ancient Near Eastern society, songs about love and passion and intimacy were common, and it would not have been an abnormal thing for Solomon to write a song like this. But the reason it is in our Bibles is because it demonstrates something about God and the way he feels about human beings and the way he expects humans to operate or connect with each other. In God's ideal world, love is relevant, and passionate love is relevant. Intimacy is relevant. Let me show you the difference. So in the ancient Near Eastern world, a woman was often treated as a commodity, right, or as property. There, these ideas of romanticism are unfamiliar to the ancient Near Eastern world. Like, men were not necessarily, marrying because they loved, a woman. We see that all the time in the Bible. We see that with Jacob and Leah, right? It wasn't, love per se. Sometimes it was a business transaction. Sometimes it was, a political transaction, but it wasn't necessarily love. But in this book, in the Song of Solomon or Song of Songs, you see that the motivation behind the relationship is, an unbridled passion for one another, not just the woman for the man, but the man for the woman. And you see those kinds of things in the Bible very rarely. Even when you think about things like, if you think about the situation with Jacob and, I said earlier, Jacob and Leah, I meant Isaac and Leah, excuse me. But if you look at, oh no, I'm sorry, I had that right. Jacob and Leah, yes, Jacob and Leah. Sorry. But if you look at the Old Testament and then just think about the way women try to, and even in that situation with Jacob, try to win his attention, right? Just like win his attention and do things to make him love them, even though his heart was towards Rachel. And that's not abnormal in the Bible. But in this particular situation, in the ideal relationship and union between a man and a woman, you find that this young man is completely, I won't say obsessed because that seems to be a negative term in many people's eyes, but he is uniquely passionate about this woman. He loves her. He loves everything about her. You see with the details that he gives, and vice versa. She feels the same way. And it is, in a way, God's way of saying that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's a big message today, but think about what it would have been in the ancient Near Eastern world, where you were literally treating your wife as a bartered product, right? Or some sort of leverage in a political relationship. I mean, it would have been a big message. So when we think about these kinds of ideas, and the placement of it's obviously in line with the biblical message and the biblical narrative, and it's one that we want to read seriously. Now, if you want to read more about this or learn more about this, I would encourage you to check out the Bible Project. It has a really good overview on the Song of Songs, and maybe that can give you a little bit more depth, give you more of a broader picture of what this book is trying to convey and why it is worth reading, why it is in our Bible. All right. So I'd love to hear more about what you think. Please leave your comments in the comment box below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Hopefully it can start some significant conversation. But until next time, thank you for watching. Take care. God bless. And remember, live by the word.